Good morning, student. Today I'm going to start with the first lesson from your English textbook Beehive, and the title of the lesson is The Fun They Had. Student, are you not curious to know who are they in the title and what kind of fun that they had? So let us read the lesson and try to quench our curiosity as we unfold this story. Before the start of the story, I would like to introduce to you about the author. He is none other than Isaac Asimov. He was born on 2nd January 1920 in Petrovichi, Russia, and died on April 6, 1992 in New York City. He did his education from the Columbia University, Boston University of Medicine, and by occupation he was a writer. His first novel, it was Pebble in the Sky, and published in the year 1950. He was known for the best work written by him. It was Foundation and One Robot. So these are his best work based on science fiction. Now, I want all of you to ponder on these two questions. And the first question is, would you want to have a futuristic school at your own home rather than coming to school every day? Why? Why not? The second question for you is, do you think human teachers will be replaced by computers or robotic teachers in near future? So these 2 points, these 2 questions, if you try to answer, then you will get a hint of what the story is going to be. The first question, a futuristic school, a school where you need not come to school every day, where you will be sitting in front of your computer or in front of your smartphone, and all the learning and teaching process will be passed on through it. That computer and your smartphone will be the medium of your teaching and learning process. So which one you like? Coming to school every day or sitting at home and doing all your needful study work at home? Which one you prefer? Right now, you are experiencing a tip of this kind of futuristic school. And so you must be having some idea, or you must be experiencing some differences between these two. So I may get a variety of answers from you. I may get a variety of answers from you, various answers, various opinion. I may get it according to your likes and dislikes. The answer may differ. And again, the second question about human teachers to be replaced by robotic teachers in the near future. Can this be possible? Yes, it may be. The fast-changing world we are experiencing, development in science and technology. Someday we may find a robotic teacher teaching you in the near future, replacing the human teachers. So these are the possibilities or the probabilities which we may see in the near future. So with this 2 question put in up here, you may have a hint of what the story may be. So let us move with the next slide and try to find out the story line. Now, in this slide, you find here the setting of the story. It is a futuristic story set in 2157. Just imagine 2157. And in the story, it depicts the education system that may be in the 22nd century. We are now in the 21st century. So education system in the 22nd century, what kind of education system? This is being depicted or portrayed by the author. So the two important characters we have in the story, Tommy and Margie. Tommy, a little boy of 13 years, and Margie, a little girl of 11 years. So these two characters are introduced right at the very beginning of the lesson. In the first line itself, you find Margie very excited and felt that it's very important that she should write down what happened to her on that particular day. On that particular day, what actually happened was that Tommy had found a very old book from his house in the attic, and both of them were quite excited. So Margie felt that it's necessary for her to jot it down on her diary, and the time and the date setting of the story, we know it as Margie had written it on the topmost corner, the date and the day, 17th May 2157. So that was the time of the year, and both of them were quite surprised to see this old book that Tommy had discovered, because for the first time they are having a view of what a book is. And at this, Margie remembered the words told by her grandfather, that when he was a small boy, his grandfather told him about the existence of the book where things are printed on the paper. So she remembered this, and then this old book found by Tommy gave the spark to the story. The whole story revolves from this book, and when they go through in the lines of the book, they found that the book is all about the school. Now, when Margie asked Tommy, what is there in the book? Tommy replied, about school. So Margie was surprised. School? What's there to write about school? Why she has put up this line? Why she has put his opinion about school like this? Because she doesn't like school. She hated school. Besides that, right now she was not doing very well in the geography sector, that is the geography subject, and so the mechanical teacher, not the human teacher, he kept giving Margie test after test, but then the result was not so good. She kept failing. Her performance became worse and worse. So her mother was really worried, and she called for the mechanical teacher. She called for the county inspector to check the mechanical teacher. County inspector is none other than the expert mechanic who will be taking care of the mechanical teacher. And so this county inspector came, and description given in the book. He was quite round in figure, with a red face. He came with all his equipments, and as soon as he reached here, he gave Margie an apple, and he soon started with his work. And he started disassembling, taking parts of the mechanical teacher. And at that moment, Margie was hoping that the county inspector should never know to put all the parts together. She was just imagining or expecting, and the same thing happened with Tommy's mechanical teacher sometimes back, and Tommy had to sit doing nothing for 1 whole month, because it takes time to fit in all the parts of the mechanical teacher. So she was just hoping that the same thing happened to her. But unfortunately, it was not so in her case. The county inspector took just an hour or so to fit in all the parts of the mechanical teacher, and in a short while the mechanical teacher was standing black and ugly, and on the screen appeared asking her to submit her homework, the things to be written down. So this part, it was quite okay. The thing that she hated most was the slot where she had to put the homework and the test papers. So she did that, and very soon the mechanical teacher checked the answer, and the marks were given out in a few minutes time. And the county inspector checked it, and he informed this mother, Margie's mother, that nothing is wrong with the child. What it was, the geography sector that had geared up, and it was not to her level. So now he had adjusted everything, and the results that was produced, that is produced, it is quite satisfactory. So saying, he left, and that's the reason why Margie did not like school. But then, when Margie said school, what should they write about school? The answer given by Tommy was that because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the answer that he gave to Margie. Let us see the difference between the present school and the future school. The future school that belongs to Margie and Tommy. The present school have real printed books, as you see in the picture. A real printed book. This is what we find in the present school, containing pages in it which becomes yellow and crinkly. Crinkly means with lines and fold with time. And the future school have future schools have millions of telebooks stored in a computer, and they can be moved on a screen. So future books, future school, you have the telebooks, and the printed things keeps moving on the screen, whereas in a real book that belongs to the present school, all the words stood still. And Tommy and Margie, while discussing on the books, they were quite surprised to see the real book where all the words stood still, and when they turned the pages back also, they find the same words and lines which they have come across before. So Tommy, at this moment, he felt that it's a waste that this people, the student or the people of the present school, wasted the books, because once they read the books, they just throw it away. And he gave his opinion that he's not going to do like that. His telebooks are stored in the computer, and millions of telebooks are there. And same opinion Margie also gave, that she's also not going to waste it. Now that's the difference between the books of the present school and the future school. Now in the present school, again another difference we come across as they discuss. Children are taught by real human teachers, as you see in the first picture, and whereas in the future school, children are taught by mechanical or robotic teacher. So this is a difference we find with the present school and the school in the future. And this we come to know when these two children talks about the school as they read the old book. Now again, in the present school, all the children go to a common building for education, where children of the same age are put in the same class, where they are taught the same things. So this is what we find in the present school, that all the children, they have a common building which is called a school, and they get their education there. They sit together, they talk together, they laugh together, they play together, and they sit in the same class and they were taught the same things. Whereas in the future schools, they don't have schools like what we have in the present school. The classroom is in one's own house, so they don't need to come to school. The classroom is their own house. Kids don't leave home to attend classes. Each child is taught differently as per his or her needs. So only the child will be sitting in her class, that is at her own home, and she or he will be taught differently according to her needs. So this is what the difference that we come across in the future school and the present school, as they discuss about the schools where they have come across in that book which Tommy had found. And then, so while they were engrossed in the discussion, Margie's mother called out Margie and informed her that it's time for her to attend her school. So Margie was not willing to leave Tommy, as she was now very much interested in reading about the fact of the present school, and so she was reluctant, but mother compelled her, and then she asked Tommy to allow her to read the book after the end of the school. Tommy also left for his class, and Margie now entered her classroom. Her classroom is next to her bedroom. There the mechanical teacher was waiting for her, and she was asked to submit her homework, and the mechanical teacher informed her that today they will be doing arithmetic. He started his teaching, but Margie was lost in her own world. Her world drifted to the time where his grandfather's grandfather attended the school with children of his neighboring areas, going together, playing together, shouting, laughing, sitting in the same class, being taught by the human teacher, and then coming back home, discussing their homework. Her mind, she was lost in that, and she felt that, oh, they really had fun in their times. So that is what the title has to say. And now we got the answer to the question, or the curiosity that was aroused by in the title of the lesson, the fun they had. Who was having the fun, and what was the fun? So that is what the lesson has taught us, or was trying to put up to all of us. Now you have in the next slide new words and their meaning. Some words, important words or difficult words that you have come across. The first word, crinkly, meaning with many folds or lines. Attic, space below the roof, often used as storeroom. Scornful, feeling contempt. Sloth, meaning a given space. Geared, adjusted to a particular level. Then the next word is loftily, in a superior way. Betcha means bet you. Dispute, disagree with. Nonchalantly, meaning not showing much interest. So these are the difficult words which you have come across with their meaning. Hope it may help you as you read the story again. Now here I have for you some comprehensive questions, and try to answer this, and if you're able to answer these few questions, I take it for granted that you have understood the story. So who found a real book and where? Who found a real book? Yes, it was Tommy. And where did he find those books? It was in his house from his house in the attic. Second question for you: what did Margie write about in her diary? So what did she wrote? She wrote that today Tommy had found a book, a real book. How old were Margie and Tommy? So yes, Margie 11 years, Tommy 13 years. What do you mean by a mechanical teacher? Mechanical teacher, a teacher who is not a human teacher. Everything is done in a mechanical way. What part of the mechanical teacher did Margie hate the most? What part of the mechanical teacher? Submitting homework and giving tests. Why was the county inspector called for? Why was he called for? To check Margie's mechanical teacher. How long did it take the inspector to set the mechanical teacher right? It was just an hour, just an hour or so. The last question: why does Margie feel that learning was fun in the school of the past? Yes, why did she feel that way? Because she felt that she feels that everybody goes to school together, come back, they yell, they shout, laugh in the schoolyard, and they discuss their homework. So that is why she feels that learning was fun in the school of the past. So these are the comprehensive question. You try to read the question again and try to answer the question by yourself. So that's all for today. In the next class, we will be discussing the exercises that follows after the lesson. So for today, thank you. Have a nice time.